we now resume our traditional responsibilities.
Very sorry for your loss.
Mizmor LeDavid Adonai Roi Lo Eksa Binot Esher Yabitzeni Al Mei Menuchot Yinaleini Nafshi Shovev Yanecheni V'magle Tzedek Leman Shemo Gam Ki Elech begates al movet lo irara ki ata imadi shiftecha umishanetecha hey moy nachamuni tarok lefonai shulchan neged zorerai Dishantov Hashem in Roshi Kosir Voya Achtol Vachesed Yidefuni Kol Yemei Chayai V'shavti Beveit Adonai Le'orech Yamim. That was from Tehillim, Psalms, Perek Kaf Gimel, Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. And he leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in straight paths for his name's sake. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you, God, are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You have anointed my head with oil. My cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Morning, dear friends, family. We're here to celebrate the remarkable life of a spectacular lady. Lisa Rose Wolfond, Aleha Shalom, of blessed memory. Leah Rachel, but Pinchas the Fradel. If you'll notice to your left, you will see a small chamber group of the Toronto Festival singers and an accompanist. It was Lisa's abiding wish that we have music. Lisa, as you know, was passionate and had an eclectic taste of music, loved music. And therefore, we will be celebrating and paying homage to Lisa through the power of prayer and music. We'll hear about her fantastic life, her beautiful relationships from Lisa's brother-in-law, Henry Wolfond, and Greg Wolfond. One of Lisa's best friends, Melanie Tans, will be singing a song before that, and straight after Melanie, we'll have a very special piece of music, and then we will hear from Oliver and Ellie, two of Lisa's children. Sadly, Dean is at home, he is not well, but he, I believe, is watching on the internet. And I will hopefully give a brief wrap-up of a remarkable life, and we'll finish with a very special piece of music. God of my Father, Father in heaven, give us your blessings, we grains of sand. Show us your kindness. remove our blindness. Give us your hand. Don't let us go. God of my Father. God of my Father, Father in heaven, give us your blessings, we grains of sand. Show us your kindness, we unbelievers, remove our blindness, give us your hand. We are but snowflakes, dancing one moment, madness and passion, taking command. Are you eternal? Is life worth living? If we are breathing, can you understand? God of my Father, Father in heaven, where you will lead us, you alone know. Are we the victims? Are we the dreamers? You're our Redeemer. Don't let us go. Do you not hear us? Are you not listening? Cries and confusion of mortal men. You are our healer, our greatest virtue. God would not hurt you. Whisper, Amen. God of my Father, I must beseech you. How could I reach you? One common stone. I seek the answers no one has shown me. Until I find them, I'll be alone. God of my Father, please, please bring me home. Please bring us Henry and Greg, and then Melanie, to give us and punctuate this moment. Thank you.
My name is Henry, Chad's oldest brother, and Chad asked me to share some memories and thoughts, some glimpses into the past 40 plus years, and it's an honor to do so. Chad met Lisa in the second week of university at U of T in 1984, kind of by kismet. A friend had dragged him reluctantly to a sculpture class, insisting this would expand his creative bandwidth. Chad, being Chad, arrived late, flustered, but when he saw Lisa, a striking woman with jet black teased hair, porcelain skin, brilliant blue-gray eyes, and bright red lips, he told me she was the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. It was love at first sight. And in that moment, he knew this was the woman he would marry. Lisa wasn't so easily convinced. While Chad was smitten, tongue-tied for months, she kind of gave him the cold shoulder. She gave him wrong phone numbers on a few occasions and brushed off his countless pleas for a date. Undeterred, Chad invited her to his year-end party, and at midnight, Lisa finally showed up. "I only came because I missed you annoying me," she said. And I think that was a turning point. Chad won her over, and after 4 years of dating and a short engagement, they married and started to build a life together. 2 years later, they welcomed Dean, followed by Oliver and Ellie. Lisa and Chad, being a little bit Lisa and Chad, while they gave their kids Hebrew names shortly after birth, they waited quite a while to give them English names, like a month or more. So unlike most of us who pick names in advance, if it's a girl, we'll name her this, if it's a boy, we'll name her that, they waited a full month. They wanted to know each baby's unique spirit first, before they would bestow the name that would truly fit them and suit them for their life. From day one, Lisa loved her kids fiercely. She'd go to extraordinary lengths to protect and guide them, yet she insisted they follow their own passions, never forcing her own on them. That was Lisa, devoted and free-spirited. Over their 35 years of marriage, Lisa, Chad's Lucy, was his anchor, where he could be a whirlwind pursuing multiple passions simultaneously at times. Lisa was focused, decisive, and calm, and brought balance to their home. Though their interests and careers diverged, they shared a deep passion for the arts, and early on built a successful ceramic studio together called Licha, a blend of Lisa and Chad and a testament to their partnership. Lisa was private, almost enigmatic, sharing different facets of herself with different people. She drew boundaries, and if you crossed them, she'd let you know. She never shied away from a confrontation or a chance to speak her mind. She was a kaleidoscope. Depending on the day, she could be soft and sensitive or strong and sassy, and sometimes both at once. While she wasn't ever someone you'd refer to as a social butterfly, her closest friendships were long, deep, loyal, and steadfast. When illness came, we saw less of Lisa, but her spirit never dimmed. Those rare visits still sparkled with her positivity and vibrance. It was my privilege, along with Rochelle, to fly Chad and Lisa to Florida in winters past, to escape the snow and the cold. We'd have dinners with them and sit in outdoor cafes and really savored our time with her. She would always bring us thoughtful gifts, perfectly suited to our taste and style, and that was Lisa. She had impeccable taste, and she said thank you with grace and love. We were grateful that she made it to Maddie's wedding in New York 2 years ago, and Sean even then. Lisa's journey was extraordinary, woven with family, friends, and laughter. She loved a good joke or a witty quip, and her face would light up, that radiant smile breaking through. She'd want us to remember her as inquisitive, vibrant, and smiling. But her journey ended far too soon, leaving a void that words can't fill.
Okay, this is tough. Yeah, you can stay. Sure. You'll hear a lot about Lisa being a superhero, and I think she actually was one. 6 years fighting that horrible disease, chemo after chemo, more than any other person that any of us know could endure. But she did it. And more often than not, she did it with a smile on her face. Sorry. Thank you. She was determined to be here for Chad, for Ellie, for Dean, for Ollie and Jasmine. And sadly, though, she's here. So our kids grew up with Lisa and have such fond memories of the games, the art projects, the laughs, the sugar-coated tofu. And that studio. The studio where Chad and Lisa did that amazing pottery. Give me a sec. Henry kind of touched on it, but anyone who knew Lisa knew that she called it as she saw it, and there was no gray. She had the driest, funniest sense of sarcastic humor of anyone, and so I took notes to tell you what she said about each of you. This is probably a little long, but maybe just H. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But if this was a book, it would be a bestseller, for sure. We all miss her so much. The relationship that Lisa and Chad had was amazing. She was there for all his ups and downs with that very dry sense of humor. And Chad was there for her, too. I think it's the first time in 6 years I'm seeing Chad indoors without his mask on. We have to admit that this beard is a little better than that half Santa Claus, half street person thing that was sticking out from behind the mask for so long. But I do remember this one trip we took to Aruba, and I was doing some scuba certification or something like that. And Lisa was very clear with Chad, do not go on the moped into the desert with Don and Barry. And, of course, Chad didn't listen, and they had to sew his face back together, and he got this road rash kind of thing all over his body. And it was kind of like road rash, but also sand in it, too, so he couldn't really move, and he couldn't go in the ocean. He couldn't go in the sun. And it was really not funny watching him watch. Of course, she took care of him, but the quips that she made to him, because she had told him not to do this, had me peeing my pants for the entire week. You kids, you knew your mom best, so cherish those memories, right? Because it's not just the end, it's all of the hugs and the journey. When they made her, they broke the mold, and she'll be looking down and watching you and rooting for you, as she always has been. Doesn't get easy. So she was supported through all of this to the end by you kids, by you, Chad, by Nadine and Nathan, by Rhonda and Sheldon, by Melanie and her girlfriends, by Bubby Petey and Zeta Mel, and the dinners outside and all the food you'd make her. And this didn't taste right, and this didn't taste right with chemo. You did it, and Eva, and so many more. She wanted everyone to know that she thanked them because you were all there for her. She'd want to thank Marina and Bing and Carmela and Tita and all the folks at PMH and Kensington who were so wonderful and compassionate during the chemo in the last days. Even to the end, she fought for cures, like the one at PMH you see on the website, when she knew it wouldn't be there in time. But she knew it would make a difference for other folks. She was tough, and it's very hard to watch a fighter who fought so hard for so long not win the battle. But she she showed us how to fight. She lived strong, and she want all of you, all of us, to live strong every day, to live every day, and to fight for what you believe in. Lisa, you'll be in our hearts forever. We'll miss you, and we'll know when we see a rainbow that you say hi. And when it's pissing rain or freezing cold at the cemetery, we'll know that you mucking with us. Love you. Fuck cancer.
There? Okay, thank you. Hi. Whoops. For those who do not know me, I'm Melanie, Lisa's oldest and dearest friend. Lisa and I have been friends for as long as I can remember. We grew up next to each other on High Point Road. As little girls, we would wander back and forth from house to house endlessly. I have great memories of the Kaufman kitchen from the 70s. It was the only place where you could eat dinner while simultaneously watching sitcoms. As kids, we would swim the days away running between Gail's house and mine, living free and easy, a charmed childhood with no parental supervision. Those were the good old days. Lisa had a love for scary movies, and she made me watch them in her basement when we were kids. This continued into our adult life. We never saw eye to eye on a good flick. Opposites we were from the start. As the years passed, our friendship continued into adulthood. After going our separate ways in our 20s, we reconnected like besties do, as if no time had passed. Lisa has been blessed with 3 amazing children. Our daughters, Ellie and Katie, are 5 months apart, and this gave us the perfect opportunity to hang out as much as possible. We took our girls on trips to Collingwood in Lisa's van, to Florida, and basically, Ellie and Katie became our sidekicks. One of Lisa's amazing attributes was her ability to make everything special. One of our favorite traditions was when Lisa established our annual dress-up Oscar party. To make the evening unique, she insisted that we dress up in gowns for the occasion. Who else but Lisa had a rack full of gowns in the basement for us to choose from for the night? The highlight of the evening was waiting for the Joan Rivers red carpet recap. Lisa and I would critique every dress and laugh our faces off. This was a yearly event, and I know moving forward, I will think of Lisa every time I watch the Oscars. Even during COVID, when she had to be especially careful, she never lost her sense of fun and making things memorable. To celebrate a birthday during that time, Lisa took over Chad's gallery and turned it into a private event space for a party of 3, complete with our own private tables, dressed with tablecloths and flowers, tables spaced 6 feet apart. Marla, Lisa, and I often had dinners together. At every restaurant, while studying the menu, like carefully looking at it, deciding what to order, Lisa would always say, "Oh, Chad, he would love this." Or, "If Chad was here, he would order this." "Oh, I have to come here with Chad." There wasn't a restaurant meal that we enjoyed together without knowing exactly what Chad would order. Chad, Lisa was always thinking of you. Lisa was an artist and incredibly creative. She had a great sense of style. You never knew what to expect to see when she answered the door. It could be anything from a colorful caftan to tie-dye to a long cashmere flowing sweater. But one thing you could be sure of, she always looked fabulous. The love of shopping did not go unnoticed. She was very skilled at it, and I took full advantage of it. I was never a great shopper, and Lisa became my personal fashion advisor. Throughout our friendship, I became very reliant on her expertise in that department. And thank goodness, I don't know what I would have worn to my son's wedding without her. Her love for the designer sale at Winners was always on the calendar, either hunting for that special Missoni piece or a basic must-have where Lisa would say, Mel, you can't dress by 1 or 2 or 3, but all of them in every color. I will remain helpless in a store without her. She loved a juicy story from the tabloids and was always up on current events around the world. She notified me immediately of any world tragedies. Through the gloom and doom of it all, we always tried to find the humor. Lisa was always able to put a comic spin on anything. Honestly, what Lisa and I did the most together was laugh. She was loyal, fearless, kind, generous, supportive, and always had a positive outlook. Her strength and courageous spirit served her well. I never heard her complain, not once during the past 6 years. At difficult times in my life, she was my calm to my storm. She always was able to put things in perspective for me, and life just always felt better. She was my Grace, and I was her Frankie. I will always cherish the memories and all our time together. They will continue to forever bring a smile to my face, and I am so, so grateful and lucky to have called her my best friend.
Thank you, Melanie. So, as you can imagine, being a professional cantor, I have conducted thousands, too many funerals, and too many funerals of phenomenal people who've passed way before their time. When I got the call from Chad and Rhonda and the family, they had a very unusual request. Excuse me. They wanted music. Lisa had a wonderful eclectic taste in music, and they wanted this to have music as a component. And then Chad told me something quite amazing, and I said, what sort of music does Lisa like? And he said, Lisa loved gospel music. I'm a cantor. This is a Jewish funeral. I know Hallelujah, but I went home. We met Thursday evening. I was privileged to meet the family. And I was privileged to give myself a challenge. And I thought, I want to do something, excuse the terminology, gospel-y, but I didn't know what sort of thing. Precious my Lord, when I survey the wondrous Magen David. I don't know. But I thought I would do something original. And for my inspiration, I took the last 2 lines of a prayer that we recite at the end of Shabbat services and festival services and Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur services. It's called Adon Olam. Hands up, those of you who know Adon Olam. Don't be ashamed. You can put your hands in. Good. Lisa, they know Adon Olam. I took the last 2 lines from Adon Olam. Biyado afkid ruchi. In his hands I place my soul. Be'et ishan va'ira. When I go to sleep and when I rise. Ve'im ruchi. And if my soul, Guviati, passes, Adonai li velo ira. God is with me. I will not fear. I took those last 2 lines and fitted them to a gospel setting. And Lisa, you will let me know, I'm sure, if I screw up. I then connected it to the doxology of our religion, the one line that we all know, Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Hear Israel. God is our God, and God is one. We are one. Echad is a very powerful number. We have the unity. When we are together as a family, we have power. When we are together as a people, we have tremendous power. When the world and humanity come together and become one, the world is a better place. So if I ask the chorus and Danny to give us Biyado from Adon Olam with the words of Shema Yisrael, and please answer the Shema Yisrael. You will know exactly when to answer, just like we do at gospel services. בידו אפקיד רוחי בדישן ועירה ועם רוחי גביעתי השם לי ולא יירא שמע ישראל השם אלוקינו I am at peace. Now I am free. Hashem Elokeinu. I am one with God. Shema Yisrael. Hashem Elokeinu. I am at peace. Now I am free. Hashem Elokeinu. I am with God. Hashem Elokeinu, I am with God. Hashem Elokeinu, I am with God. Shema. Bless you, Lisa. I'd like to call upon two of Lisa's jewels, Oliver and Ellie, to give us their beautiful eulogies in hesped to their mother.
Hi, everyone. I'm Oliver, Lisa's son. This is my sister, Ellie. Our brother, Dean, wanted us to touch on a few points for him while we're up here. So I'm going to start with those. He will always remember the way our mother made sure we were well taken care of, well fed, and got to where we needed to go. How she took the time to plan our vacations and family celebrations, and how she always made us feel loved and supported. She fought for him whenever she could, but held him accountable and didn't take his shit when he was wrong or mean. She inspired him to be better and encouraged him to train and study. He especially admired how she was always positive, even when she must have been in tremendous pain. Dean wanted to make sure that those thoughts were heard while Ellie and I were up here. And now I'll say my piece. My mother, Lisa, was always there when I needed her. She would jump into action and get the thing done or booked or whatever else. I know that she loved the three of us, Dean, myself, and Ellie, more than anything else in the world. And her love came out in how much she seemed to worry about us. But she usually didn't let that concern show, and she always maintained a great deal of support toward each of our independent paths. She wanted us to live our lives and to be happy. My mom had creative seasons in her life. She worked with ceramics for a long time, and I have memories of playing with clay together in her studio and seeing her work. but some of the most meaningful work to me came from her metalworking season. She once came home with what may best be described as a welded tower of scrap metal adorned with a steel plate with my name that she had torch cut letter by letter. And my mom knew that I liked to play with structures and make up stories, and I spent countless hours with that thing. Another one is a family portrait that she had made consisting of only our lips, molded and cast in bronze. So I remember a series of nights at our kitchen table, holding my breath as she applied the mold to get it just right. She also loved music, as we've heard so much this morning. We used to listen together in the car. She loved to pick up new CDs, multi-artist collections, and a range of genres, and to discover that one gem on an obscure album. She would listen intently on the first pass-through, and she would skip immediately when she knew she had made up her mind that she didn't like a song. Later, that CD might enter the rotation for just those songs that she had found. There was one day that her car was broken into, and a few of her binders of CDs were taken. She was devastated. It was real sadness, and not for the loss of the material aspect of a few dozen CDs, but for the loss of her careful curation. It was an expression of herself in that irreplaceable collection. So my mom also expressed herself through her fashion. She loved to find unique elements and to put them together in her own way. She had a good eye and a passion for it. She was smart, she understood social dynamics well, and she was the best Scrabble player I have ever faced. She could be tough in pursuit of getting what she wanted. She knew what she liked, she knew what she didn't like, and so did we. She never wanted us to worry about her. When she first got sick and was undergoing initial procedures and treatment, she went to great lengths to hide her situation from the three of us. We were all living in different cities at the time. And she just wanted us to live our lives without her becoming our focal point. She was stronger than anyone I know and determined. She left no stone unturned in her research. And when she signed up for an early stage clinical trial late last year, she was encouraged by the possibility that her case may contribute to future medical breakthroughs and that others may someday benefit from her contribution. Over all those years, her personality never left her, and I will love her always.
You just heard my brother Oliver mention my mom's love for music and her eclectic and wide-ranging CD collection. Together through music, we explored culture, history, and time without ever leaving the car. She had a playful side and also maintained a lifelong pursuit of knowledge, auditing university classes for the sake of it well into her 40s, and always ready to discuss the psychological intricacies of any situation. As a woman who relinquished a career to care for and uplift her family, which she reminded me over and over she was happy for and wanted to do, she instilled in me that learning happens everywhere. You've heard several accounts of my mother, Lisa, this morning, and as I'm sure you can tell, she showed different sides to different people. Something the two of us discussed before she passed, as I was in a moment of despair, I complained, "How will I ever know how to do X, Y, or Z?" She explained to me that for problems of X nature, I should go to this friend of hers, and for dilemmas of Y nature, I should ask that family member. I feverishly scribbled these notes down at the time, and only in these last few days of reflection have I come to understand that while she is no longer here, her loved ones are able to come together and weave a tapestry of her qualities and memory to help fill the gaps for one another. I would be remiss not to mention that on a daily basis, we connected primarily through creative expression and clothing. As with music, her tastes in this area spanned cultures, history, and convention. As odd as it may seem, even in her final weeks, she made sure I would be dressed properly for this coming week. And if you join us at the cemetery later, know that she approved of the hat I will be wearing. My mother was a fan of quotes and aphorisms. She collected them in the form of books, magnets, and calendars, and she would clip them from magazines and newspapers. When preparing to speak today, I took time going through some of these books looking for that perfect nugget. I'm not sure I have the perfect one, but I have a couple of good ones. Here is the first. I do not believe that sheer suffering teaches. If suffering alone taught, all the world would be wise, since everyone suffers. To suffering must be added mourning, understanding, patience, love, openness, and the willingness to remain vulnerable. That was a note for those of us who remain earthside, of the learning and growth that can come from this painful time, given we do the emotional legwork. Something which my mother would appreciate and would have told all of us. I'd like to leave you with one more. I apologize if it feels too dark for some, but it feels appropriate given how she expressed her satisfaction with her life in the final days, ending too soon, but fulfilled by how she had lived it. As a well-spent day brings happy sleep, so a life well spent brings happy death. Thank you.
Thank you, Oliver. Thank you, Ellie. Beautiful. I'm Cantor Simon Spiro, the cantor, the spiritual leader of the Song Shul. I didn't have the privilege of knowing Lisa. I met with Chad and Oliver and Ellie and wonderful Rhonda. And I spoke with Nadine. And I had a couple of words with her wonderful husband, Nathan. And I'm grateful for that. I'm also grateful that through all the anecdotes and stories and weaving that tapestry of narrative of Lisa's life, I'm able to know just a little bit more about her brilliance, her spectacular goodness, her honesty. And my final words will be in the form of eulogy, hesped, and a short Devar Torah, because in a Jewish funeral we always connect with something spiritual and of value from the Torah. Lisa, Leah Rachel, but Pinchas V'Fredel. Lisa lived a life that was cut short, but what a glorious life it was. She lived fully and left her mark on everyone who had the pleasure of knowing her. Lisa was the fifth of 6 children. She grew up in York Mills, where her family of 8 lived together with their bubby Tessie in one home. Lisa had a truly happy childhood, enriched with things she loved to do: swimming, baking, skating, playing outside, doing puzzles, playing with Barbies. I do that too. Played Barbies with Nadine, and simply laughing and having fun. Lisa had only happy memories from her childhood. When Lisa got her driver's license, she and her sister Nadine would drive to the mall or some other store every night after dinner, just for the fun of it. It took her a little while to remember to turn off the lights when they parked the car, so unfortunately Lisa had to keep asking someone in the parking lot to boost her battery. She was thankful that their mum had no idea. When Lisa was just a teenager, her father, Philip, who was a physician, passed away at the young age of 62. After that, Lisa's mother, Florrie, needing to provide for her family, became very successful selling insurance. Lisa followed that lead, not in insurance, but becoming successful in all she did throughout her life. Lisa attended York Mills Collegiate and then University of Toronto and George Brown College. At University of Toronto, she met her beloved future husband and life partner, Chad. Chad describes their life together as simply a love affair and a novel. Their time together was filled with aphorisms, poetry, love, laughter, and music. And in fact, as we know, Chad wanted there to be music today for his precious Lisa. Once they were married, Lisa and Chad welcomed Dean, Oliver, and Ellie, as she called them, her jewels, her treasures. Lisa was a superbly loving and encouraging mother, and for the rest of her life, Lisa would fiercely defend her children's right to develop in any area that captivated their interest. Her family was most assuredly the most important thing to Lisa. She was a devoted daughter to her mother, Florrie, both before and after her mother became ill. Lisa always had a wonderful relationship with her siblings, Richard, Michelle, Eric, and Kevin, and she shared a unique and very special bond with her younger sister, Nadine. She adored Nadine, and the two shared each other's secrets. Lisa taught Nadine to persevere through all of life's challenges, and she celebrated Nadine's joys and triumphs. Lisa turned obstacles, as we heard, into just stepping stones. And later, after a lifetime of caring for Nadine, it was Nadine's turn. It was Nadine's honor to be able to move in and help the family take care of Lisa when she was going through treatment. Nadine's husband, Nathan, was also so very, very supportive of his wife moving in with Lisa and Chad to be there for her sister. By all accounts, we know that Lisa was simply an exquisite human being. The accolades used to describe her are endless. She was generous and elegant, intelligent and inquisitive, fun, caring, thoughtful, loving, protective. And as we know, she had a wonderful, dry sense of humor. Lisa loved to travel, loved learning about other cultures. She had incredible energy and a voracious appetite for life. Lisa was knowledgeable about so much: history, geography, the arts, home decor, cooking, business, technology, and fashion. Her friends, as we know, always approached her as the go-to person for advice on so many aspects of life. While there is overwhelming sadness at this loss, there is great meaning in the timing of Lisa's passing. Lisa left us last week when we read the Torah portion called Vayakel. Vayakel means to come together, to gather. Vayakel comes from the Hebrew shoresh, from the Hebrew root of the word kihila, kahal, congregation. She belonged to our people. She was at one with everybody. In the parasha last week of Vayakel, we read that Moses addresses the children of Israel, giving them instructions on making the Mishkan. That was the portable sanctuary that was used in the desert, in the wilderness, for carrying the 2 tablets of stone containing the 10 Commandments. There is vivid detail about the material for the artisans to make the Mishkan: gold, silver, and copper, blue, purple, and red-dyed wool, goat hair, spun linen, animal skins, wood, olive oil, precious stones. Such beautiful, meticulous detail, and so apropos and fitting for Lisa, an individual with such artistry, creativity, and style. Someone who truly brought beauty to the world in which she lived. But there's an even deeper significance in the timing of Lisa's passing. Yesterday, on Shabbat, in this week's Torah portion, we began reading Pekudei. That's the final parsha in the book of Exodus. And we will now complete reading the book of Exodus this week and begin the new book of Leviticus. Similarly now, Lisa leaves us to begin a new book in our lives. Although Lisa is not here to begin this book with us, she remains in our hearts and constantly in our memories. She leaves us with the values which guided her own life: dignity and grace, integrity, honesty, devotion, derech eretz, that is respect, a love of family, a love of life, and an appreciation of beauty. Her beloved husband, Chad, the 3 jewels in her crown. Dean, Oliver, and Ellie, her dear siblings. Richard and Nadine, Michelle and Michael, Eric and Margaret, Kevin and Nadine and Nathan. Her siblings-in-law, Henry and Rochelle, Greg and Linda. Her parents-in-law, Melvin and Bobby Peding, who even prepared meals and food that Lisa loved. And Lisa's many, many nieces, nephews, cousins, and friends. We are left here to move forward and to carry on Lisa's legacy. May she watch over us, and may we be worthy of all that she stood for. After a courageous battle, Lisa was blessed with a very peaceful passing, surrounded by her loving family. Just before that moment, Nadine commented to their cousin Rhonda that if she could say anything to her sister, it was summarized in the lyrics of The Wind Beneath My Wings. In fact, Nadine played that song as Lisa peacefully passed. Today, together, we all honor Lisa with this beautiful song. Must have been cold there in my shadow, to never have sunlight on your face. You were content to let me shine, that's your way. You always walked a step behind. So I was the one with all the glory, while you were the one with all the strength. A beautiful face without a name for so long. A beautiful smile to hide the pain. Did you ever know that you're my hero? And everything I'd like to be. I could fly higher than an eagle. 'Cause Lisa, you are the wind beneath my wings. It might have appeared to go unnoticed, but I've got it all here in my heart. I want you to know I know the truth, that I would be nothing without you. Oh, did you ever know that you're my hero? And everything I wanted to be. I can fly higher than an eagle. You are the wind beneath my wings. You are the wind beneath my wings. May the name of Lisa Wolfond, Leah Rachel, Bat Pinchas Verfredel, be for a blessing. Tihi na tzuro v'tzor achayim et nishmata. Please rise for the memorial prayer. El mole rachamim shoecheine bameroemim hametzim nuchanechono tachat kanefei השכינות במעלות קדושים וטהורים כזוהר הרקיע מזהירים את נשמת את נשמת מורת האישה לאה רחל בת פנחס ופרידל שהולכה לעולמה בעבור שכל משפחתה מתאבלים עליו בגן עדן עתי מנוחתה לא כן בעל רחמים יסתירם בסתי כנפיך לעולמים. ותיצרו בצרו החיים את נשמתה. אדוני הוא נחלתה, ותנוח בשלום, ותנוח בשלום, ונאמר,
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing.